Listen.
Welcome to Nintendo Voice Chat episode 431. I'm your host, Zach Ryan. Today I'm joined by Per Schneider.
Zach!
Thomas Tater Tots Marks.
Hello.
And Casey DeFreitas.
Hello.
You're back. We've missed you so much, Casey.
Yeah, welcome
I've
back.
missed you guys too. I
Yeah.
shouldn't be here, but I'm here anyway.
Where the heck have you been?
I've been working on the Red Dead walkthrough.
Yeah.
But then you heard Smash and...
Yeah, Smash
She was
and
back.
Pokemon. I'm
That's it.
here.
Yeah,
Yep.
I knew we couldn't do the show without you this week, so I went over to Sam and I grabbed him by his mustache and I threatened him. I said, "You got to give us Casey, or else."
I saw it
I don't really
happen.
know what else would happen. I feel like Sam would probably really beat me up badly, but no, it's really good to have you back. I know that guide season or guides especially get intense in the fourth quarter and the holiday season. So you guys have been working your butts off. Red Dead is a huge game. Like
So big.
I mean, all 5 of our full-time guides writers are working on Red Dead, which is absolutely insane.
Yep.
That's in my time at IGN. I don't think that's ever happened.
No, it's the first time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we go big for GTA. Like,
Yeah, it's because those games, like to this day,
So monstrous.
GTA 5 cheats and walkthroughs day over day are still our highest rated, like most viewed pages,
Yep,
right?
always.
Yeah, so I think we anticipate the same kind of thing with Red Dead, and so we just kind of threw the whole team at. That's interesting. Sorry, I got distracted by that camera angle. So we just throw the whole team at it and try to find all the secrets and stuff first, right? And like be the first to the punch.
And you'll do the same for Smash once it's out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Casey,
100%.
Casey, how many words have you written in the Red Dead guide?
About 50,000.
Okay,
50.
50,000 words.
I think about 35,000 of those were written in the first 6 days that I had the game.
That's really insane. Yeah,
I don't know if I've written 50,000 words in like total.
And when is
overall.
when can we expect Red Dead Redemption 2 to come to the Nintendo Switch?
Far off in the year 2032. I predicted the future.
Or in 2 weeks on Japan's streaming service.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be into that.
Yeah, right.
Before we get too
Not
far
really.
down the line, I do have some news for you guys on FanFest. I'm sure y'all are excited for FanFest coming in December. Now, this isn't new news because it's literally the same copy I've read for the last couple of weeks, but here it is.
You make it so exciting.
Come celebrate the years in games with IGN at our FanFest presented by Fruit Loops. Your favorite game makers, streamers, and game personalities will all be there like Tom Marks, and we want you to join us Friday, December 7th in Los Angeles. Stay tuned for more details on how you can be part of the action.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Isn't that the date that Smash comes out?
Yes, it is.
Guys, what are you doing?
So come and join us and play some
Maybe
Smash.
people will be playing Smash at FanFest.
No, look, we don't often head down to LA, so this is an opportunity to meet some folks from up in San Francisco.
Hey, I don't know if you know this. We have a whole team.
I
down in
know,
LA.
but it's our entertainment team, so they will be there as well. So if you enjoy our movies and comics and TV content, come swing by, say hi.
Now, there is a little behind the scenes stuff that I wanted to talk about today before we get into the big topic, which is, of course, the Smash Direct that happened this morning.
Yeah.
Sorry for the show being late. We did delay it so that we could cover the news because this is what always happens with NVC, I feel like, is we record the show and then something huge happens that night or the next day and we have to wait a full week to talk about it.
At least they warned us this time.
I know.
Yes.
We got a little bit of a heads up, which was nice, but we were originally supposed to record this on October 31st, which colloquially known as Halloween, All
Yeah.
Hallows Eve.
You had
The
your
night-
costume
The
too.
night
Yeah.
where the dimension, the walls between the dimensions are thinner than they've ever been before, and the spooks come out, and it's very frightening.
So you would have been so disappointed wearing that costume as to what characters
I
got
legitimately
revealed.
made the choice to wear that costume this year because I'm hosting NVC. I don't know if I'll be hosting NVC next year around this time. So it's like, okay, I better go ahead and like get this out now. So here's my costume. I dressed up as Waluigi, of course.
So good.
Yeah, here I am in front of the Mushroom Kingdom or the castle, Peach's castle. Pretty proud of that one.
Yep.
That's like a true New York Waluigi.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good. Yeah. Also, those overalls that I'm wearing there, those might make a comeback. I was pretty comfy in those overalls.
Looks a little bit like Trevor from GTA too.
Oh, yeah, I got
was
a
gonna
little,
say,
a bit of a Trevor vibe going
Yep,
for
yep.
me. Per, what did you dress up as?
I dressed up as a managing editor.
Okay.
so
yeah, that's right. You're Sam. You
I dressed up
as
as Sam Claiborne. I had
Yeah.
my Sam Claiborne mustache and the full Sam Claiborne outfit, and I was very proud that Sam looked at me and said, "Is that my jacket?"
Yeah.
That was
He
very
seemed
accurate.
maybe a little unamused by that costume.
I think he's seen it so many times now.
Imitation
so?
is the highest form of flattery.
Well, and Tom, what was your costume?
I was Deku from
That's
My
right.
Hero Academia, and I was very happy with it.
Yeah, it
Spent,
was
like
great.
a month making that costume.
Really good costume.
Yeah.
With his mom,
Yeah.
which is extra canon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Deku's mom
Makes the
his
costume, yeah.
So I made that costume.
That's
with my
great.
mom.
And Casey was.
I was Morgana, codename Mona from Persona 5.
Yeah.
no, there
And your
you go.
costume was really great too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So obviously, the biggest news today, all the just insane amount of information we got from the Smash Direct, and we will get there, but there are a few games that I wanted to talk about before we really dig into Smash. So let's talk about some games that are coming out this week, starting with Diablo 3.
Woo.
So Diablo 3, sort of infamous hack and slash dungeon crawler RPG loot grind on Nintendo Switch, where it's found a home in its latest iteration, and it is awesome. I've been playing it. I played a little bit. Brian and I did a Link Together reboot, which was pretty cool. Have you been playing it as well?
No, I haven't gotten a copy yet. I played it at a couple of events, and obviously I've sank my teeth into it on PC when it first came out, and then I played it again when it hit PlayStation 4. So I've spent probably over 100 hours in the world of Diablo 3. I always dug it because as a kid, I was a big fan of Gauntlet.
Yeah.
You know, just the concept of picking different character classes with slightly different attacks, and then just with friends teaming up and going through these dungeons. And Diablo really kind of is that spiritual successor to Gauntlet. You know, there's no more Gauntlet Legends, right?
Right.
Yeah, and I just spent way too much time in it, and I'm very excited to do this now on the go. When traveling with my family, I'm probably gonna have to buy 4 copies.
It is
kids.
really awesome to be on the bus or something and pop it open and play some Diablo. I mean, it's been fun for me to just kind of get in there, loot grind for a little while, tuck it away, get to work. You know, like it's an awesome, like you wouldn't think about it in this way, but it is an awesome game to take like on the road.
Well, it's one of the experiences that I think makes the Switch so great, right? It's one of the games that you're like, wow, I can't believe I have this full game in my pocket. We've seen things like Doom also, where it's been very graphically limited, but Diablo 3 is all like they had to tune stuff down. It doesn't look like the PC version of Diablo 3,
It still looks
but it's
really
still
good.
good.
It runs pitch perfect.
The art style and the perspective of this game lend it to looking really good, even if it's tuned down a little bit.
That's that Blizzard magic, you know. They make their games in a way that's totally scalable, and still looks great. So
I thought when I first saw it running, I'm like, oh man, on the higher levels, once you power it up, it's going to slow down because you start off with very simple attacks, and then as you build your character, you get multiple familiars on screen and all this stuff happening, right? You can summon the dead to help you depending on your character, and I thought it was going to chug, but it runs really nicely.
No, it runs smooth all the way through. Yeah.
So is Necromancer still OP?
Yes. Necromancer is definitely, if you haven't played the game, that's the character if you want to level up the fastest.
Yeah.
And just kick butt. That was a character added later on, so it wasn't in the original.
This is sort of the definitive edition, I feel like.
So like you guys, I played on PC and I played again in PS4 actually recently. But the Switch version comes with extra stuff like Ganondorf.
Yeah.
So what else does it come with?
Well, there will be. They just announced an amiibo of the Loot Goblin.
Oh man,
Which is a really funny amiibo.
So weird.
it's a funny amiibo.
Well, it's strange because the box, they showed the box too. The box doesn't look like a normal amiibo box. And the actual figure is the Loot Goblin Cute But Deadly series Blizzard figure. It's the exact same figurine, just a different color. So this is this amiibo where it's the first time we've seen them pretty much just take a figurine that already existed and was admittedly already really cool looking and just turn it into an amiibo, which is interesting. I don't know if I don't like it or not.
Yeah, our very own Ryan McCaffrey gave this game a 9.0 on Switch. It is excellent, and I'm having a hell of a time playing it. It's great. Like, I'm having a blast, and I hope that you guys pick it up as well because it is sort of the definitive edition of this game. And speaking of definitive editions, we got another one I wanted to talk about real quick, and that's Grim Fandango Remastered. This is an all-time classic coming out for Switch. Yeah. Just showed up on the eShop today. That's great. One of those sort of unceremonious things where it was like, oh yeah, here's this too, which is nice.
Yeah, just a wonderful adventure game with a really, really cool art style.
And probably one of the funniest games I've ever played. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's got that Tim Schafer humor. Did you review this game in
I didn't
your
review
old
it.
PC gamer career or anything?
No. I haven't done anything like that with it, but I have. I mean, I've played it. It's a classic, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the adventure games where when you play it nowadays, like it's still so funny, but there are so many things that it did at the time too that you sort of take for granted now, just because it led the way in a lot of those things with a lot of other adventure games. I'm not saying it alone, but it's a little piece of history, and the fact that it fits on the Switch is just wonderful, just so nice.
How long is the game?
I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I mean it depends. Like, these old adventure games, there are parts that are so obtuse that you could get stuck forever. You know, like that's the thing. I think one of the first challenges in this game, you have to take like a balloon to a thing and fill it up with like a glue, and it just does none of it makes sense. Why you
classic adventure game?
It's just like so obscure and obtuse. But I don't know. I can't imagine this game would be longer than maybe 8 hours, 10 hours.
Yeah, it's
maybe not even that long.
I always get so sad when I see Grim Fandango. I get so nostalgic for the Lucasfilm games, days, right? Like if you played The Dig, another great adventure game back then, and then even before it, I had a home computer with Lucasfilm games like the Eidolon and Rescue and Fractalus and Ball Blazer, and it's like they need to come back in some form, please.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if we get the other remasters because there's a Full Throttle remaster.
There's the Day of the Tentacle remaster.
There's the Monkey Island games. Like I think Monkey Island would be more difficult because that is actually Lucas. But we'll see if we get more of those.
Yeah.
I hope we do.
Yeah. And then the last game that I wanted to talk about is Transistor, which is one of my favorite games from last generation. Transistor is by Supergiant, the same guys behind Bastion and Pyre, which Pyre is like a really, really cool game if you guys haven't checked that out. But Transistor is this sort of weird hybrid of like strategy action RPG, but it tells this really cool story about this sword that's like possessed, and you're on a quest to find your husband in this game, or your boyfriend, I forget, but it's such a cool game. Have you had an opportunity to play Transistor?
Yeah.
Spend a lot of time with it? Yeah.
Bastion is one of probably in my top 20 games of all time. Like I love Bastion. Transistor for me was a little disappointing when I first played it, just because of how I think I was expecting Bastion, and it's different than that.
Well, that's the thing about Supergiant is all their games are so different from one another.
Yeah. And so that's on me. That's not on the game itself. The thing I will say that this is just so gorgeous. It's the art style of any Supergiant game is just beautiful and vibrant and so colorful and so unique. And then on top of that, the audio, your main character in the game
music in this game is amazing.
Is a singer. You're like a nightclub singer, and the music in this game is just so great.
Yeah.
It's one that I think probably will not resonate with everyone. Like there's a good chance you'll get this and just kind of not be into it, but it's really, really cool and unique, and I think it's definitely worth looking at.
So out of a possible 10 toms, how many toms do you give it?
That's a tough scale. I'd say like 7 toms.
7 toms.
Yeah, but
I'd give it at least 8 toms, maybe even 8.5 toms.
Well, 7 toms is amazing on this game,
right?
Whereas 7 Ryans is merely good.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the eShop, by the way, just don't be scared, but it's just full again with new games that many of which we haven't played, but Brian has played. So I'm sure we'll hear more on that.
So we often get these emails usually every Thursday from Nintendo that's like, here's 4 or 5 selects and then a list of games the other games that have come out, and it's like usually there's a few selects and then like a few other games that they want. These are also available.
Yeah.
This week's list was like 15 additional games. It's just like so many games. Yeah.
And it's something in every genre. I mean, we talked about Save Me Mr. Taco last week. That's a fun little throwback game for the Game Boy. I've been playing Swap This. It's basically like, think of like Candy Crush, where you have like a color match game.
I'd rather not.
But you can change things. Dude, Candy Crush, don't diss it. It was a money grubbing game, but it was a smart game. No, but this is like you can switch any things on a screen. They don't have to be next to each other. So it's like a cool puzzle game for like $3, I think. So there's a whole bunch of cool stuff across all different genres, but we should probably focus on the big game.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. So it's not Monster Hunter, and it's not Pokemon,
Sorry, Casey.
but it is
Super Smash
Brothers
And it
Ultimate.
has
Which
stuff
has
from
Monster Hunter and Pokemon.
And Pokemon
Yeah,
in it. Yeah, so this is a game tailor-made for Casey DeFreitas. Congratulations.
Yeah.
This Nintendo Direct, as most, just kind of came out of the blue. I think we were all kind of anticipating a final Smash Direct before the launch of the game on December 7th. Could not have seen the amount of information coming.
No.
And like, I was talking to Pear earlier this week when this got announced, and it's just like, I'm so tired of talking about Smash. Like, I've kind of notoriously, I know the comments are always going to light me up for this, but like, I'm a fair weather Smash fan. I think Smash is 7 out of 10 toms. Like,
The weather is
good,
always
not great.
fair here. You should
That's
play
true.
this every day.
But so when we found out this news was coming, it was just give us the game. Like, I'm tired of talking about it. But I will say that this Direct absolutely blew me away. I think it's insane the amount of stuff that they're putting in this game. So let's jump right in. What?
Well, first things first, we were kind of anticipating this because there's been all this talk about the leak, right?
Yeah.
The leak document.
I was going to try to gloss over the fact that we did a whole episode about a fake leak, but yeah, go ahead, Per.
I'm sorry.
You can't avoid that. Like some people just have too much time on their hands, and it is virtually impossible, even with the power of thousands of people on Reddit.
Talking about Tom.
I'm not talking about Tom. But even with the full power of like everybody hanging out on forums and on Reddit, like people couldn't quite figure out whether it was real or fake, and there were a lot of plausible things saying that maybe it's true, right? A lot of things, and no, it's not true. It turned out to be completely wrong. You got one thing right by accident, and that's about it.
I mean, it was a fake leak meant to mess with people and troll people, but to that like faker's credit,
They did a really good job.
Really good fake leak.
It was a well-orchestrated fake leak.
They put a lot of layers of like contingency of if they figured this out, there's this. Like they did a lot of work.
impressive.
Now, of course, people are so excited about the characters shown in that picture that they're going to bug Nintendo, make them do them as DLC.
I mean, they haven't decided
It'll come true.
what 5 are coming next, so you know.
We'll get to the DLC aspect here in a minute, but let's start at the top. They announced 2 new and final characters for the initial roster, and
then they announced 1 more final character.
Right. So I kind of wanted to talk about the rollout of these characters as it is, right? Because at E3 this year, when we first got a good look at Smash, they were like, "Here's 64 characters or something crazy, like 62. I can't remember how many, but like so many characters." And then in each Direct since then, it's been like, oh, here's 2 more. Here's 3 more, and it's just been like I wish that it had been more of an even kind of reveal instead of just like everything at once and then like, oh, okay, here's a couple. But specifically, we're talking today about Ken from Street Fighter and Incineroar from Pokemon. These are the 2 big characters that got announced today.
Ken, everybody was expecting Ken.
As an Echo Fighter.
Yeah. And we got Ryu in the last Smash.
Yeah.
And Ken is in this one as an Echo Fighter for Ryu, but he's a little bit faster, a little bit more fluid, it looks like. And I like that Ken controls in the same way that Ryu does. That if you know how to play Street Fighter, if you're a Street Fighter person, you can play as Ken or as Ryu and use Smash controls, or you can do the button inputs from Street Fighter and it'll work for these characters as well, which I think is really smart. Yeah. I've always played, when I've played Street Fighter, I've always played as Ken or Ryu, so this is good news for me because that means that I can get in there and at least not be terrible. So,
Did you notice the little details? Like they even changed his Hadouken. Yeah. Like it's a different design.
They did a nice, they've been doing a nice thing with these character reveals where they show the characters, but then they'll also be like, and here's some, like a few trivia kind of things about them. And Ken's was like, it's a different Hadouken. He's a little bit faster. I also like that Ken and Ryu both get this like black ink splash, like that's sort of reminiscent to Street Fighter 4. I think that's kind of cool.
Mentioned that Ken originally was Ryu's like Echo Fighter in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Which I guess is why everyone was predicting him to be in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it totally makes sense.
I did not expect this Pokemon. This
is a pretty wild one. Casey, I want you to take it away on this.
So I don't think this is that wild. I mean, I was discussing like what starter Pokemon they would include because that's usually what they do. They pick a starter Pokemon or a legendary Pokemon like Mewtwo. And Incineroar makes sense because he is a heal Pokemon. And a heal is the bad guy in wrestling.
Not H-E-A-L.
Yeah, no. H-E-E-L. And the heal is like a bad guy in wrestling. Yeah. So he's a wrestler. He's a fighter. Like that's what he does. It's what this Pokemon's character is all about. So it makes sense to put him in a fighting game. And it's really interesting that his reveal is in a ring because, like I said, he's a wrestler. And I think one of his first appearances in the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime is in a ring like this, fighting 3 different people. And he finishes the match by doing this Z move, which is a moonsault. Gosh, I don't remember what it's called.
I didn't put it in the notes if you're looking for it there.
Yeah. Malicious moonsault.
Yeah. Oh.
But that's interesting because they did the same thing here. So they kind of mirrored his introduction in the anime a little bit, which I thought was cool.
I love that he like bounces people, like he summons a set of ropes and bounces people off of them. And I think it's really funny that they even went as far as to mention in the Direct that like, after he does every move, he like flexes or poses for the crowd, and you can cancel out of that. It looks pretty easy to do it, but it's really funny. Every time he body slams somebody, he flexes for a I while. It's great.
Were you happy with the reveal?
Yeah, I think he looks really cool. Did
you want Incineroar in Smash?
I mean, I think I prefer Decidueye a little bit more, just because I think his moveset would have been a little bit more interesting. Because I mean, he's a big owl that shoots arrows, and I thought that was cool.
Super cool.
But I always was in the camp that it made more sense to include Incineroar. I'm sorry, Prima Arena fans, like that just didn't make sense at all. So that was never a thought.
I mean, when I saw the two characters, I was like, cool. But I wasn't. I had hoped that they had held a stronger character for the final 2 reveal.
Yeah.
Oh, but didn't they?
Well, they did have one more, which is actually my favorite out of the 3. But like, you know, Ken is kind of like, all right, you should have gotten that one out of the way early.
It's interesting to me how the news of leaks or potential leaks or rumors and stuff actually colored my expectations here.
Yeah, you can't help
then they said, we're done. This 74 fighters. This is all of them. And I kind of was like, wait, what? Because like just because of how many rumors and fake leaks and all that stuff there were, I was expecting more than that.
And how many characters Nintendo still has, right?
Right. And how many they have still. And it's funny because if you lose perspective, you can be like, this is only 2 more. Like, what? This is how could you? This is not enough. But really, like 74 characters is insane. That's a ton.
Yeah.
And that's 74 if you're counting Pokemon Trainer as 3.
3. Yeah.
No, I thought it was 70.
74 if you're counting Pokemon Trainer as 1, I think.
Yeah, 74
right?
if you're counting Pokemon
okay.
Trainer as 1, 76 if you're counting Pokemon Trainer as 3, and 69 if you're not counting Echo Fighters.
There you go.
Nice.
You got it.
You did.
And then, of course, there are 5 more, and there was,
Well, we'll get to that eventually, but
I also want
roster-
to say that Incineroar looks really fluffy, and I want to give him good pets.
yeah,
It will-
I like that he looks so fluffy, but also has just like fire for a belt. Like,
That's actually how he shoots fire from the belt. He doesn't breathe fire. He like shoots it
so
out of his belly.
you would say that he literally shoots from the hip.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
No.
Oh, so good. I hate it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The roster is insane. I think it's wild that it starts. They showed us that here's the initial lineup of characters that you start with. It's like 8 characters or something.
Same from as 64.
Yeah, the same 8 characters from 64. It might be 8. It might be more than that. I can't remember if it's 8 or 9. But the amount of characters that you have to unlock in this game just gives me anxiety just looking at it because they're like this is what you start with, but then don't worry, if you play the game long enough, here's all these characters, and it's just rows and rows and rows of characters.
If you want to unlock a specific character, you can go to our wiki and figure out how to do that when the game launches.
I thought we talked about these shameless plugs.
Hey.
I thought we made an agreement.
We never
that if
made
you're
an
coming back
agreement.
to the show,
Just
that
Google IGN Smash Brothers Wiki. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Go
no,
ahead.
that's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine.
They're on both sides, Zach.
Now let's talk about the real deal of the Smash Direct, at least to me, and that's the Spirit system. So, if you remember, many moons ago, I believe it was in the last Smash Direct, we saw what appeared to be the title screen or the stage select screen from Smash that had a green blurb or a green icon that was blurred out.
Yep.
And back then, people said, hey, we've unscrambled this and we think that it says Spirits.
That's so crazy.
It's wild
Yeah.
because they're right.
Good job.
That's exactly what it was.
They were sure too because they unscrambled it in English and in Japanese,
Yeah.
and both versions said spirits. Like it said spirits in Japanese.
Right. So this is great. Sakurai introduced this segment by saying that they were doing away with trophies. And I actually have a question here that we might as well put in this run of show here. Let me see. It is... Are you as upset as I am about no trophies? This is coming from Brian Huffman, sorry. Are you as upset as I am about no trophies? I feel like that was a big part of Smash and now a big part of preserving the history of games and those trophies being represented. Now we just get clip art in Spirits mode. However, I love that Sakurai prefaced this whole segment by being like, we've decided to do away with trophies and it was really hard to make those trophies. But
Because they were 3D models.
Right.
Yeah.
But what we've decided to do instead is put an entire different game inside the game because somehow that's easier than making those 3D models. So
It's like an entire mobile game inside of Smash.
it's a gotcha game inside of Smash. It's wild.
Only you don't have to pay.
First of all, Spirits.
I'm so excited.
There are hundreds of them supposedly, right? And they're. The way that they describe it is that it's kind of like equipping accessories in an RPG. So you can get spirits that have buffs against like poison resist, or spirits that'll make your character move faster, or spirits that are exactly. Spirits that will make your character's attack stronger. So you can mix and match these different spirit sets, and it'll give your character different buffs, and it will position you better to fight different enemies, right? So one of the things that's most interesting about this is the way that you unlock these spirits. You guys want to talk a little bit about these, what we're looking at here, which is...
I'm just laughing because when you get one of the spirit challenges, you fight a puppet fighter.
Right.
So you're not actually fighting the spirit depicted in the little clip art
So
card.
it's funny because you fight an approximation of what that character would be in the game,
So
right?
Isabel stands in for a Japanese samurai with a chonmage, right?
Yeah.
A wine or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you fight 3 Sonics.
3 Sonics to unlock the Hedgehog Sisters from Animal Crossing. Or my favorite one, which actually made me laugh this morning, you can unlock Dr. Hal Emmerich from Metal Gear Solid, which in and of itself is ridiculous.
There he is.
Right. But the way you unlock is you fight Dr. Mario and Rob the Robot.
Against a silver Rob the robot.
And Dr. Mario is a pacifist. Like, he doesn't want to fight you. He's just like hanging back. I think this is so brilliant and so funny. So basically, like, there's this selection of screens that we saw that has characters all, like, laid out. Like, you can unlock the following spirits, but you have to participate in these spirit battles to unlock them, right?
And it seems like these spirit battles also replace events from the past games, which I'm a little bit disappointed about, but these seem just as gimmicky and interesting as those events as well.
No, I thought they had they announced
They
event
announced
mode
event mode as well?
I think there is also events.
So there's both.
I believe so.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that, but I believe they are. I think these modes are really cool. Like, I think I saw some people talking about how, like, oh, they look so janky and weird that it's not the real characters there.
I think I've seen them described as like clip art. I mean, he even
No,
said
I meant
it here,
the fights, the approximation of the fighters.
I see what you're
but
saying.
I think they're
love
really
that.
creative and interesting.
Yeah, they're really creative, and they also just, like, kids are gonna love that. Younger people are not gonna care. They're just gonna use their imagination, and I like that it's making you use your imagination in that regard. I will say
it wouldn't have been realistic, obviously, to create hundreds of fighter characters.
Yeah.
Of course not. This is so much. This is a really, really cool way to do it. The clip art comment, I sympathize with a little bit.
Yep.
I think probably what he meant by it would have been too hard to do trophies is they started developing this. They were gonna do trophies, and then they realized we want way more spirits in this game than we can manage trophies for.
Well,
and they
it's-
made them 2D. And I think they do look a little weird just being
The cards
2D.
look better. If you see the cards, they look nicer. They look like little trading cards, but some of the clip art, it does look a little clip
I think it's kind of cool that they're getting original art from the source of these games, like, because you kind of get to see them how they were when they originally came to be.
Yeah, and they also, but I will agree that they look a little incongruous as well because they're coming from so many different styles. Like, it's a little bit weird, but I'm really into it, and I think it's crazy that it's an entire different system and mechanic that's just been inserted into this game because you can raise these spirits just like you raise Pokemons, right? Like,
feed them.
Yeah.
you can feed them. They level up if you fight with them equipped. There's like, it's really, really interesting the amount of thought that's gone into this. And you and I and Justin Davis were talking earlier, and he was suggesting, like you had pointed out at the beginning, that this to me feels like some kind of mobile or gachapon type system that probably started as something else and they decided to implement in Smash.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're a big gachapon fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I'm also a really big fan of like RPGs like this that you can level up and alter your stats. And it seems like this will be making the single player experience more like an RPG, which I'm incredibly excited about. And I think it's really cool and interesting.
Yeah.
I'm putting a lot more time into that than I thought I was.
Yeah. And we'll get there as well, but the single player experience looks to be pretty different this time around. So up next on the docket, I did want to talk a little bit about DLC. Pear, specifically, you had brought up some interesting points. Tom, you participated in a conversation earlier this morning about this DLC. I put in my notes, is this shady? This feels shady. So,
Probably not from Nintendo's perspective, right?
No, but
because they have all this faith that they're doing the right thing, that they're building something of value. That they probably and they were even in the direct, you could tell they're like, oh, if you don't have faith that this will be absolutely for you, don't buy it, right? Like they're trying to qualify it and kind of like get in front of the criticism that they're selling you something for $25 in a closed box and don't tell you exactly
something.
what
They're selling you something, right? And
They
this,
don't even
this
tell
is the
you when
same
it's
thing.
gonna be.
No, and this is the same thing that they did with Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
Is that they wanted you to pay the $20 up front or however
like
much
a
it was.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, exactly. Pay the $20. Eventually, we'll have some DLC that will have some sort of content that you might like, but just trust us. Fortunately, I will say both those DLCs for Breath of the Wild were really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what they did say is you will get for, if you buy them separately, they're slightly more expensive, like $1 more,
Yeah, it's
right?
it's
like
$4.99, $5.99 for its individual packs.
And
Yeah.
you'll get a pack includes a fighter, a stage, and music.
Right.
For that fighter. And then if you, first of all, Nintendo acknowledging at launch, yes, there will be DLC for Smash. Awesome. I'm so happy because it gives you a reason. If you're not the kind of person who plays these games for months and months, it gives you a reason to come back. I just love that, like this cadence of new releases down the line. I'm totally going to buy the pack day one, of course, because I know there's going to be a character like a Waluigi or something cool like that. I'm always going to point at you when I say Waluigi.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you play Smash a lot, especially if you have friends, you're going to want to have all of those characters and stages because you might have a friend come over who's like, oh, this is my character.
Yep.
And if it's a DLC character, you don't have it. And then you're gonna have to buy one anyway. So.
But I don't love that. Like other companies probably would get criticized so hard if they did this. If Ubisoft did this, the entire internet would be like falling over and bursting into flames like the horses in Red Dead Redemption.
Very good. Very good callback. They also detailed some new Amiibo, specifically for Pear. They said this is the Pear Schneider update for Amiibo. So we've got Inkling, Ridley, and Wolf coming on launch day, December 7th.
We knew those.
Yeah. I do think this is funny the way that this is shot. Like, there's something a little weird about the way that they presented this stuff because this looks very like budget. But anyway, that's beside the point.
New light box.
Yeah, exactly. And then we've got King K. Rool, Ice Climbers, and Piranha Plant coming on February 15th. Get that for your sweetie.
Yeah. Well,
And
we
then
haven't talked about Piranha Plant, but keep
Well, yeah,
going.
we should go back to that. And then Isabelle, Pichu, Ken, Young Link, and Daisy sometime in 2019.
These look really good.
They look great.
Young Link Amiibo do we have?
Looks really good, but I think Piranha Plant will be my favorite Amiibo out of the batch. It just looks so good.
Yeah, it does look really
And
cool.
it's not going to have any stupid thing that it has to lean on it. It sits in its own pot. It's not going to have a P stand like Link or a little see-through box like Mega Man.
Let's talk about our friend Petey Piranha making an appearance in Smash.
Not PD.
It's not
It's not Petey Piranha. It's just
not
Piranha
there.
Plant.
Generic
Yeah.
Piranha
Generic
Plant, which
Piranha
is
Plant.
weirder.
Yeah.
Very weird. Nintendo's been doing that though. Nintendo did it with Mario Tennis Aces, where they just had it's Chain Chomp. It's just a Chain Chomp or a Paratroopa or a Koopa Troopa.
Right.
And they did it with Super Mario Party, where it's just a Monty Mole, a
Goomba.
Goomba.
And let's face it,
So,
it's not Mary Inkling, it's Inklings.
Right.
They're also generic.
Super off topic, but 1 second. While playing Mario Party, while playing as Monty Mole, there's a mole whack mini game. And if you play as Monty Mole during that game, he looks terrified. And it's the most hilarious thing.
serious?
Yes, I'm serious. He looks terrified while you're
post that
playing
video?
this
That's
game.
That is incredible.
No, we haven't.
We should do that. That's so good.
That's really good.
But yeah, so they said here are the last two characters revealed, and we're all like, "Oh!" And then they go, "And here is another character. Here's Piranha Plant."
But he's coming post-launch. We don't know when.
Post-launch, and
For free.
Sakurai said he's not done. So they're trying to deflect some of the complaints that they're taking out pieces and piecemealing content after launch. But basically, this will be a free bonus if you pre-order the game. Which I mean, if you're gonna buy Smash Brothers,
you don't have to pre-order it. You have to pre-order the digital version.
right?
Well, they said if you get a physical version, you will just have to register it for gold coins on your Nintendo account.
Yes.
And then you'll get it.
But it'll expire. Like if you
It's the
buy the game after
31st.
January, it's no longer free.
Right.
You'll be able to buy it separately as DLC.
But you do have all the way up until January 31st to get Smash and get Piranha Plant free, which is a huge amount of time and way more than they need to do. Like, if you know what I mean.
It's a
It's
kinda-
the early
Kinda lost it there.
adopter.
Yeah.
It's the
It's an
early adopter bonus.
Yeah.
Pokemon does that all the time.
Yeah, that's true too. Now, did you guys notice Piranha Plant has feet? What's up with that? Why does that? Well, yeah.
I thought
if
it
you
was
notice,
hopping about in the.
it looks like it's just hopping about on the pot there, but no, he's got little feet underneath the pot.
Petey Piranha has feet, I guess.
I don't know. That's weird, dude.
Oh yeah.
I guess
they
they're
have
just
the little
roots
vines.
poking through the.
Yeah. Those are,
Poking through the
you
pot.
don't know anything about plants. Those are roots. Zach.
According to our audience, I know a fair bit about one plant, but
there was the Piranha Plant became a trending topic on Twitter, and probably not for positive reasons. Like there were a lot of people who were
this guy.
upset that there's a quote unquote generic character in the game versus like Nintendo going back to one of their named characters and bringing them in, I think is great. Every time they add a character who's not a dude with a sword or a lady with a wand or whatever, I'm so happy.
I think the
he does have little feet.
He has little feet.
They're so cute.
Look,
oh yeah, you're
look
right.
at him when he jumps. It's crazy.
Okay,
what's he doing
no
now?
roots then.
I think Piranha Plant from a fighter standpoint looks awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
I think this character looks so cool and so fun and very unique and weird.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why it's not Petey Piranha. Right?
Because there's
Petey as an assist
Petey
trophy.
Piranha is the final smash,
He's
but I
too
don't understand why
big.
they would. But they could have just made him. Ridley is ginormous. They could have made him smaller.
Pish posh.
I don't know. I don't mind it. I just think it's odd because it's setting a precedent that has never really happened in a Smash Bros. Game before. Like you said, Inkling is kind of generic.
Yeah.
All the Pokemon are technically generic as well. But
except for the Greninja, because that is Ash's Greninja.
right.
Oh God.
But it's odd to me that they're going this way with a game that is so heavily centered around recognizable characters and taking people you love from other things and putting them in here. I just didn't expect it. And it does make me nervous for the DLC because I don't want like Dry Bones to be a character in the DLC.
But there's so many people who love Dry Bones.
Yeah.
Right, but I want it to be the example.
Toad is just a Toad. He's not Captain Toad either.
I think there is a Toad though.
Oh no, there is
anyway, the example I use though is Paper Mario. Paper Mario, all the Paper Marios, you would get allies that were these generic characters, but they had faces and names and personalities and characters that were their own.
Yeah,
I would have.
None of them are as iconic as the generics, though.
I guess that's true.
You know?
I guess that's true.
Like everybody knows Bullet Bill,
Yeah.
not Mr. John Bill Bullet, right? They know the no, but like the.
I understand the point you're trying to make. I think that Mr. John Bill Bullet is a really funny name.
I love that'll be your next Halloween costume.
Yeah.
I love the named characters in the Paper Mario series as well, but I actually like the way the generics look better because they're so recognizable.
I'm just excited we're going to get to play as a potted plant.
Yeah.
Finally,
See?
Casey's lifelong dream coming true in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
I mean,
You gotta stop. You gotta stop with this. The last thing that I wanted to talk about.
you knew where I was going.
I did.
Too.
I could
This
see
is
it
just
from a
for-
mile off.
This is for the NVC Facebook group. That was
Pear
it.
always
Thank you.
telegraphs when he's going to do a goof because he tees up like this.
Oh, yeah,
notice
no.
that?
It's
Yeah,
a
right.
wind up.
Yeah,
I'm winding up.
Yeah.
Like, "Merp."
He's just getting a sick burn queued up. So, the last thing that I want to talk about was the adventure mode, the World of Light, which looks awesome. And we have to talk about this insane trailer that starts this off, right? So, I wrote here.
the Avengers.
Exactly. I wrote here in my notes, Nintendo goes full Thanos and kills off a bunch of characters, ? Because it looks like they've all accumulated to take on these awful hands.
Master
Hands
Yeah, it's
coming
just
in.
like an army of master hands controlled by what appears to be like the final boss from Final Fantasy VIII.
Or the
I don't
Pepsi
know, but
Pepsi logo are part of the Korean flag.
Yeah,
with
could
the
be that.
actual voice actors of Star Fox and Chrom and Pit and Zelda coming back, which is
That's
super
pretty cool. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other tiny little detail I love in this, all those master hands are the right hand because Crazy Hand is the left hand. And
Okay.
that's such a nice little old school Smash Bros. Lore.
That's pretty good, dude.
So I'm bringing up the lyrics from the song that played because that
boy.
just weirded me out.
Yeah.
There were lyrics.
So this is really great because there's this entire like very dramatic laser light show that takes out a bunch of these Nintendo characters. But about halfway through, this very Japanese sort of theme song pops up. And we were all watching it as a group this morning, and Andrew Goldfarb goes, "Oh, I love this song." And everyone was like, "What? You love this song?"
I think he had a
But
tear in his eye.
He did.
But,
He is
but
getting
what's
very
more
sentimental.
important is you got to watch this trailer. Like Sonic
really
tries
good.
to save
There
Pikachu.
are so many-
It's heartbreaking.
The Metal Gear one is the best. It's about
Yeah.
it's right here. Where
But
it's
there,
just,
there are so many little like hints and in jokes in this, just in this sequence.
Good.
cardboard.
But it's also wild because this kind of serves as like a total wrap up to all the other trailers that they've released.
Yeah.
Right.
This
I
is
don't
the
know.
best part,
I
though.
think it's really great. Yeah, and poor Kirby.
So not poor Kirby, though.
Every
Well, Kirby
character
makes
it that
dies
work.
except
I
for
say-
Sakurai's
I was gonna say-
character.
Yeah.
I say poor Kirby because all of Kirby's friends are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, HAL Labs made the Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that was the
series,
first-
And they also
yeah.
created Kirby, right?
That was the joke
And
going
so
around this morning.
This is the love song to Kirby, the true hero of this new Smash Brothers
Right.
game.
I'm
He's
so
the
on board
only
with
one who doesn't get Thanos snapped.
Yeah.
Escapes and then is really sad and lonely and needs to rebuild the world.
Well, okay, so apparently you start the adventure mode as Kirby, right? Like it seems to me that adventure mode is going to be sort of a progression in which like you start as one character and you have to fight and release all these other characters from this weird clone situation that they wind up in here at the end of this trailer. But I think that the overworld looks super cool.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks
yeah.
like this awesome, like watercolored sort of impressionist kind of jam. Like I really love that.
Mix
And
of
it
all
also-
of Nintendo's worlds, right?
Right,
There's
and-
like a Pokemon section.
Yeah, and it's also really interesting because it looks like you need to unlock certain characters to create paths to other areas. We see in this trailer, it's a little later than this, but we see Pokemon Trainer using a Lapras to get across the water
Yeah.
to go to another section. And to me, that means like, okay, so I have to fight or free Pokemon Trainer and gain those abilities to move to another section. And that's
And did
awesome.
Lapras look like a spirit?
I didn't look that closely. You might know better than I.
There was also a shot of like flying through space on a Lilac cruiser from
Yeah.
Star Fox from planet to planet. There's a lot of little cool things.
Pikmin enemy.
Yeah, one of the really important notes that Sakurai made right before they revealed this, though, is there's this big story trailer. Yeah, there's this story going on of what happened to these spirits, but this is not a super story-driven adventure mode like Subspace
Subspace
Yeah, he
Emissary.
says it's about
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
It's. I think that you're going to be spending a significant more amount of time in this board mode than you are in cutscenes,
Yeah.
which is not how Subspace was.
Pear, did you see the jumpy?
Yeah, I did see the jump.
Yeah.
It's a big map, though.
The jump.
That's right.
It's I love the style of this. I wasn't a big fan of Subspace Emissary, like from a gameplay perspective. I love the concept of having a
Yeah.
side scroller in a fighting game like this. So I'm not as excited by the one-on-one battles, but look at this here. You're seeing that there are actually bosses
battles.
here that are not
And that's what they're
playable
talking about.
characters. So,
So-
there could be some cool stuff.
So this is a thing. Me and Brendan had a conversation about this way back when they revealed the Rathalos.
Yeah.
Because in the very first trailer at the Rathalos, you're fighting the Rathalos in a way that you would never see a normal Smash Bros. Fight. Because they talk about how it's an assist trophy, but it's on a completely new map that was not on the map select screen. It's only one person fighting against a Rathalos, which you never have one player character unless you're in a single player mode.
yeah.
And we said at that time, this looks like some sort of actual boss battle in either a boss rush mode or a story mode. And then we saw the Rathalos on that
Casey's
world
so
map,
happy.
which
Casey's
means
so happy right
yeah,
now.
which means we're getting boss fights, big boss fights in this mode,
And we're
almost
getting a little
certainly.
Monster Hunter area. It's
Yeah,
by
there's
Rathalos.
The step, what was it called?
Ancient Steps.
Ancient Steps. Yeah.
Yeah. Super cool.
So this is reminiscent of the Master Hand battles, right? In like the older games, so that you have a bigger enemy with unique movesets. Hopefully we get plenty of bosses that we haven't seen here yet.
I would love some sort of boss rush mode in Smash. I think
We've
that's
seen,
really
I
cool.
think, at least 4 already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it seems like there might be a feature in that, Tom. Put attack in that. Let's circle back to it. We could probably talk about all the news from Smash. There's way more information that came out of this direct. I wanted to kind of cover off on some of the bigger topics here.
like how you can
first.
press the ZR button to open the dock.
Yes, just like that. But we would be remiss if we didn't talk about Treehouse Live after the direct. I wanted us to talk about Pokemon and Yoshi, but we've only got time for one. And since I didn't have any notes for Yoshi, let's go ahead and start with Pokemon. Welcome back, Casey. Take it away.
So it was previously revealed that Pikachu and Eevee will get exclusive moves, and they finally revealed how they will learn those moves. You have to go to special move tutors at different Pokemon centers around the world, and that's
Called Mooters.
Mooters. No,
Known as.
but we learned about 2 new moves called Glitzy Glow and Batty Bad. I don't know who comes up with these names, man. They're like ridiculous.
Batty
but,
Bad?
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Buzzy Buzz, Sizzly Slide, Glitzy Glow, Batty Bad, and Bouncy Bubble.
It's cute for the kids.
But the interesting things about these exclusive moves is that it gives Eevee and Pikachu access to move types that they otherwise would never have access to. So your partner Pokemon not only have better stats, but they have access to a wider move pool than normal Eevee and Pikachu would be able to learn.
Right.
Please tell me Batty Bad is not a dark move.
It's got to be a dark type move, right?
Man,
Like,
it's too on the nose.
It's like George Lucas naming, huh?
Yeah.
Darth Badass.
Sizzly Slide. Oh, man.
yep. And we also learned that for the first time ever, we can manipulate the natures of the Pokemon that you encounter in the wild. And this is especially pertinent because in Pokemon Let's Go, Pokemon no longer have abilities. And in previous games, since Pokemon Emerald, you could have a Pokemon with the ability called Synchronize, and then if you have that at the front of your party, you have a 50% chance of encountering a wild Pokemon with that Pokemon's nature. So that's how you would kind of plan out what natures you would get for especially legendary Pokemon. That was what you had to do. So I would have a box full of Alakazam with all of the different natures you could have just for catching Pokemon. So this completely takes away all of that work that you have to do, which is really great. So how it works,
is that great, or does it take away some of the challenge and the
I'm very glad I don't have to.
Just a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Because I mean, I would have to train a bunch of Alakazam with all the different natures.
See, that's how I feel because I'm replaying this game. I don't feel like I need to do the kind of menial tasks again. But obviously, there are a lot of people who are concerned with this not being a copy of the kind of like depth of the original game.
I'm fine with depth. I appreciate depth. I don't like tediousness to get to the things that you want. Like, especially if it's just time consuming. Like, if I already know the solution, I don't want the solution to take 10 hours.
Right.
You know, I want to just do it.
Well, the other thing that I think people need to keep reminding themselves of is that if you're looking for a massively complex, deep fighting Pokemon game,
careful.
This is just not it.
Yeah.
Careful. You're treading into dangerous territory.
Well, I mean, I'll tread away.
We'll get that next year.
Yeah. I think that people just got to remind themselves that this is just not that game. It's
we've talked about this. We've talked about this at length on NVC. That this is a game that's obviously geared towards a more casual Pokemon crowd. People don't like to hear that, but that's the case. Yeah. And I think that it's making some smart choices, but maybe sacrificing some stuff that appeals to a hardcore crowd. Obviously, yeah.
And they are also reintroducing the IV judge in your Pokemon box that we had in Sun and Moon, so you could just see your Pokemon's IVs. And like Pokemon Sun and Moon, you have to unlock it. They haven't revealed how to unlock it, but that's another feature that is very welcome because talking to someone who just vaguely tells you if your Pokemon is good or not is really annoying.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah.
I don't remember Meltan in the original Pokemon Yellow, Blue, and Red.
No,
Meltan is a brand new Pokemon.
What's going on there?
And so you get Meltan by trading a Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Let's Go. And with that Pokemon, you'll get a mystery box. And once you open that mystery box, a Meltan will spawn in your game for a limited amount of time, and then you can catch it. And you can do this once a week. So you can actually get multiple Meltan, which is Meltan is just a really interesting mythical Pokemon.
And
very new.
If you've missed this, obviously Pokemon Go rolled this out in a really interesting way where they just started to appear on the map and people were losing their minds thinking it was a glitch at first.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
Yeah, that was a great idea.
It was all on purpose. It was crazy.
Yep.
But that's about all the new stuff with Pokemon. Honestly, with the new nature feature, I kind of want them to incorporate into the next game because trying to catch a wild Pokemon with the right nature before I have my box of Alakazams is really annoying, and I don't want to do that again. I'd rather go talk to a fortune teller and be like, I want to find Pokemon with this kind of nature, and then for the whole next day, I will find Pokemon.
Farm those Pokemon, those specific Pokemon. Yeah, it seems fun. We're right around the corner from Pokemon. Let's go Pikachu. Let's go Eevee.
So close.
16th.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do we have it yet? No, we don't have it yet.
Not yet. It's not in the office yet, but yeah, we're about 2 weeks out, which is exciting. Are you on that review?
I'm not. Miranda's on that review. I'm on the wiki.
Cool. Right on. Well, does that mean that you'll have to be off the show again?
Maybe.
Just do the show from your desk.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll just Skype her in from her desk. Yeah. I think that will work. Yeah.
Being a nice dad, I sent my kids a text message this morning asking whether they want Eevee or Pikachu. Because I'm gonna.
What was the general consensus?
Judged your children
very Eevee heavy. So I'm gonna have to be the Pikachu guy. Yeah.
So Tom and I were talking about
versatile. I get it.
Do we prefer the Eevee riding on the head or Pikachu on the shoulder?
Yeah, it's a tough choice for me.
Pikachu on the head.
But Eevee's on the head.
Eevee's
on the head.
Fine. Pikachu on the shoulder.
I like Pikachu on the shoulder. I feel like that's a better. It just seems to fit my lifestyle a little bit more, you know.
Plus, Eevee's too fat to ride on anything. We learned, right?
Yeah.
You Googled how much does an Eevee weigh?
I asked Siri how much Eevee weighs, and they said 143 pounds,
which is very wrong.
Which is not true.
Eevee weighs 14 pounds.
That's like as much as 2 Rottweilers tied together.
I'm really glad you guys got in here and fact checked before we started the show.
Pikachu weighs 13 pounds, but I wouldn't want either riding on my head because the thought of having a 13-pound weight on my head all day sounds like I would have a very sore neck.
But I was gonna say, think about how ripped your neck would be. Like you just have like a sick neck.
Who wants a ripped neck, Zach?
just a thick,
imagine you
muscular
have to
neck.
open doors with your head, like locked doors.
No big deal. Yeah. Guys, it's time to play a little game that we play here every week on NVC. It's called the Question Block.
It's not a game.
Still not a game. Paris right. Our first question comes from Eric Freshley in the Facebook group. That's Nintendo Voice Chat Podcast Forums on Facebook. You can find us there. You can join the group and you can ask us a question right here on the old NVC show. Yeah. Eric asks, how heartbroken were you by Sonic and Pikachu? And Eric is, of course, referring to that cinematic where just as they're both about to melt, Sonic reaches back to try and grab and save Pikachu. A friendship decades in the making.
The hedgehog and the mouse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh man, it did. I didn't notice it the first time I watched it, but somebody pointed it out on Twitter. We're like, "How tragic is this?" And now I can never unsee it. It's just so sad. They really love each other a lot.
I'm shipping Sonic Pikachu. I think that's love right there.
Can you imagine how dangerous that would be as an animal? Just like so fast and electrified. That's just like the world's most deadly predator.
It's like one of them yo-yos with a little sparks inside, man.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, that was very sad. I want to go back and rewatch that cinematic like 4 times because every one of those scenes had something really great. Like, like Dark Pit and Pit were flying away, and then Palutena gets killed, and they lose their power to fly, and they sink. So they were flying to getting away, and then they stopped.
The cinematics in the series are always so good.
And they're just chock full of that like deep lore and like funny in jokes, you know what I mean? Like I think it's really
Zelda
clever.
shield there, the crystal.
Yeah, super cool.
Bayonetta, no.
Girl, I know. They're all trying so hard.
Yeah. Matthew North asks, with Blizzard working so close with Nintendo, would you freak out if Diablo joined you as one of the 5 DLCs?
I thought they were going to reveal it today because in the fighting scene, you see these glowing eyes in the at the entrance, and I was like, oh, they're adding Diablo because we had already heard about the one Amiibo. I thought, okay, now they'll add Diablo. Maybe as a second an iteration on Ridley, because you already have some big winged creature like that. But I think it'd be really cool. Do
we have? I'm trying to think. Do we have any other Smash characters that have or series that have a villain without a hero? You know what I mean? Because Diablo is the
just this assist. Yeah, you have Dracula and
which hero character would they add in?
Yeah, you can't. So those are too generic, right?
Right. Yeah. So Heroes of the Storm has done exactly what I was saying with the Piranha Plant stuff, where for Heroes of the Storm, they've taken their classes and given them names and backstories and characters and then put them into Heroes of the Storm as a distinct character. I don't think that would work in a game like Smash, but it's an option.
No, Diablo is the only one.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I agree.
Yeah.
But would Nintendo really put the literal devil into their fighting game?
I don't know. They had Devil Man in the history and stuff like that. Okay. They just didn't bring him back.
They put Dracula in there. He doesn't seem like a super nice dude.
Plant.
Yeah.
I mean, Dark Pit Pokemon in Japanese are evil type Pokemon. So I mean, you got Pokemon that are stealing children's souls.
There's a difference. There's a difference between like an evil Pokemon and actual Satan. I mean, that's
maybe these evil Pokemon serve.
But you're right. Maybe that's why we're getting a Loot Goblin and not Diablo as an amiibo.
I could see Loot Goblin or Diablo or something showing up as a spirit. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Next question. Zachary Rolfe asks, do you think there's just too much and it won't be fun unlocking everything? Like I said earlier, the character roster screen ballooning from the original characters or the initial characters all the way out to the full roster really freaked me out because there's just like so many characters to unlock. And not to mention the idea of like hundreds of unique spirits to collect. Some of those spirits level up, so you have to train with them to like unlock further spirits. Like
it just seems they evolve.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, like it just seems like there's an insane amount packed into this game, and I don't know, especially as like a fair weather Smash fan, I don't know how much time I can really dedicate to like trying to complete all this stuff.
They have to. I mean, if hopefully you'll have some friends who will play multiplayer with you, and that unlocks stuff.
I don't.
I think this is the right approach, though. It's very unlikely that we'll get another Smash Brothers game for the Switch.
Yeah,
right? Like
right.
this entire generation, this game has to last. This is going to be one of their flagship online games. And I was a little sad when Mario Kart came out, and obviously it was a remake with the DLC packed in, that everything was already out there. You know, you unlock car parts and stuff, but like all the stages, all the cups were open, and it removed some of the motivation for me to go back and play through it single player or even with another local player. And so I love it when there's all this stuff to unlock, and I think it's a great motivator.
And I'll say that I think Nintendo, with Smash Bros. Specifically, has always been very good at giving you multiple ways to unlock the important stuff. So my bet would be that playing through World of Light will unlock characters in the same way that just playing multiplayer matches will unlock characters.
Right.
And so whatever way you want to play this game, you're going to be unlocking things. We don't know that for sure, but that's traditionally what they've done, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's just what we see again here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then remember, there's a 1-year DLC plan here.
Yeah, all the way out to February 2020.
So you'll get those 5. If those sell really well, I'm sure we're going to get more, right?
Yeah.
And so I think even if you don't unlock everything in the beginning, we all always have a friend who has everything unlocked too. I feel like life will find a way. Yeah, we've got Casey. We've got Brendan Graber, who's just going to play that game day and night.
Yeah, we were kind of looking forward to having a nice, easy December, and now after Spirits has been announced, I'm not so sure it's going to be the case.
Intense.
Brandon's at his desk freeze framing through every part of that trailer, just writing every Spirit name down right now.
So if you want to know everything that was revealed during the trailer, and I mean literally everything, you should head to our wiki tonight.
I've heard that before.
To the show.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of stuff, guys.
Zach's getting all nervous now.
I thought we talked about this.
Yeah.
I mean,
We didn't. We never talked about it.
CC. Peter John asks, do you think being a spirit will automatically disqualify a character from appearing in the roster as DLC?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I think
so?
I think that too.
I don't think... I'm going to say this, but it's not true because Nintendo is insane, but I was going to say Nintendo doesn't have that kind of foresight to know every single character they'll ever want to put in. But, maybe they do have that kind of foresight.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them at all. Like, I think that's totally plausible.
Because I've heard this argument before. It's like, oh, no, that's an assist trophy, and it's going to come back, and therefore this will not be a playable character. I think it might just change. Like, remember, they can patch your game too and like slightly change the spirit, or
Sure.
There's so much they can do.
Assist trophy also is so much more involved and has so much more work behind it to create that character model, whereas they're just assets that are already taken from previous games.
Yeah.
So like
The Spirits is more viable to me than assist trophies.
Yeah.
I think that, like, I hate to break hearts here. I'm super sorry. Waluigi's never going to be a character in Smash.
You think so?
I will put money on that. If Waluigi is
Put money on it right now.
If Waluigi is ever announced for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I will show up on this show without a bow tie.
and eat your bow tie.
And I will do that because I am so confident he will never be a character.
So, but
Holy macaroni.
Why?
Because he was an assist trophy, and I don't think they will
Matter.
ever swap that over.
they'll do this DLC pack. You download Waluigi, and suddenly it's like Wario and Waluigi's brother Barrio or something. He wears green. And is the evil version of Luigi.
It's Luigi.
It's a
He's
putrid
the good version of Waluigi.
Putrid, poisonous
just
green.
described Waluigi like 3 times in
No,
a
it's
row.
Mario.
Yeah.
No. So it's the Waluigi's the evil version of Luigi. This is the good version of Waluigi. It's different.
I get it. Yeah,
that'd be
okay.
really
that
nice.
makes sense.
No, I think that's doable. Like they obviously wouldn't have an assist trophy and the player on the screen at once because it would be confusing.
It just
I
doesn't
think
make
they would
sense
patch it.
canonically.
Yeah,
Canonically, yeah.
I have
If you
no
want,
serious
if you want
doubts.
to talk about Smash lore, Smash canon.
There's a piranha plant with feet, man.
Yeah, the whole idea of this
Canon
game is
is
that
broken
these spirits are things that like can no longer inhabit a physical form, so you can't be spectral.
No, you can send them
And-
back to the regular world. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
you
I guess
get
you're
to
right. They did say
get
that.
a new spirit.
Turns out
Never
there's
mind what I said. I changed my
Turns
mind.
out it was a ditto all along. Boom, served. Thank you.
Done deal. Last question, and this one actually comes from me. All those Smash amiibo
Yep.
inspired me. I just saw that young Link amiibo, and I was like, you know what? I have a bunch of different Link action figures at my desk, but I have no Link amiibo. I'm gonna buy all the Link amiibo. I'm gonna get
good.
all of them. Yeah,
All Link specifically or
yeah,
Zelda?
no,
ones
all the
generally?
Links.
So some of them
amiibo,
are
yeah.
hard to find new or not from scalpers. So
You're gonna have to steal them from
like
Pear.
if you want to get little Majora's Mask Link with a mask, you'll have to probably pay like $40.
Nah, I think I saw them for like 25.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
that's
but
actually
I
cheaper
wanted to
than it used
ask
be.
you, which is the most exciting of those new Amiibo? Because I know you're like Dr. Amiibo. You'll want to we'll want to catch them all. So which one do you think you're gonna go with?
I mean, I think design-wise, Piranha Plant. Looks
You
the
said
best.
Piranha Plant earlier, yeah.
Yeah,
and like,
that one looks really good. And then, I mean, if you count Ridley was previously announced, I think Ridley is just so cool
That's number
because
two
it's
for you.
such a different one, different looking one. Wolf looks really good. His stance is really cool.
Yeah.
All of Nintendo's Inklings look really good. Like all of the existing Inkling Amiibo are beautifully modeled. The paint looks really good. But I'd have to go with Piranha Plant. Young Link also looks nice.
yeah, Young Link looks pretty cool.
No Treasure Goblin?
I gotta take a closer look. Looks really cool, but no, not as good as the Piranha Plant.
I could just glue the Treasure Goblin Cupid Deadly I have to a base and just
Can't do that.
Perfect.
That's not
Yeah.
the same. Nope.
Tom Marks just making it happen over
Yep.
here.
That's a Tomiibo. That's
I'm
different.
handy.
Anybody else care to weigh in on this Amiibo situation?
I just think Ridley looks really good.
Yeah.
Did you ever buy any of
Interesting.
them? No.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I have Roy, Pikachu, Mewtwo, and Link.
No Bayonetta either.
That's it.
I can list, I think I have like 10 or 12.
Okay.
I have a
That's
fair
good.
amount. Yeah.
There are too many of them.
That's over 100.
The only Amiibo
Oh, and
I
I have
have.
Charizard.
Okay,
Of
of course.
The only Amiibo that I have been, are ones that have been gifted to me, so I have like a weird hodgepodge.
The only Amiibo I have is everyone.
Yeah, we've seen it. We've seen your desk.
I like the Piranha Plant one a lot. I also like Ice Climbers just because I'm glad
Ice Climbers looks
is
good
back.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
This batch looks great.
Oh, goodness! I think that means that our time is up. when the video wall
Very
comes on,
subtle.
when the video wall comes on haphazardly like that, I
There's a
think that
giant
means that-
desktop and it said Taco Bell.
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, our time is up. We got to wrap up here, but I wanted to thank you guys for joining me today.
Thank you, Zach.
Yeah, and I want to thank you guys out there for watching us. We are NVC. That's spooky. We are NVC. That's IGN's Nintendo show every Thursdays at 3 p.m. right here on IGN.com and every Friday at 3 p.m. on YouTube. Don't forget, you can come back next week. We're going to talk about this Yoshi game that we didn't get to today, but mostly we're going to be out on a quest to
Get the thing.
gotta get the thing.